What's the most expensive watch in the world? Is it a Rolex, a Patek Philippe, maybe something covered in a mountain of diamonds? Well, you might be surprised to learn that the answer isn't what you'd expect. Today, we're diving deep into the world of horological masterpieces to uncover the story behind the most expensive watch ever sold. Forget everything you think you know about luxury timepieces, because this one is in a league of its own. Now, when you think of expensive watches, your mind probably jumps to shiny, gem-encrusted pieces that scream opulence. And you're not wrong. Many of the world's priciest watches are loaded with diamonds, sapphires, and rubies. But the king of all watches, the one that fetched the highest price ever at auction, is actually quite understated in its appearance, at least from a distance. The watch we're talking about is the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime, reference 6300A010, and the A in that model number is crucial. It stands for Acier, which is French for steel. That's right, the most expensive watch in the world is made of stainless steel. In 2019, it was sold at the Only Watch charity auction in Geneva for an absolutely staggering 31 million Swiss francs. At the time, that was equivalent to about $31 million US. Let that sink in. $31 million for a watch. You could buy a private island, a fleet of supercars, or a handful of mansions for that price. So, what on earth makes a steel watch worth that much? To understand its value, we need to understand the context. The Only Watch auction is a very special biennial event where the world's top watchmakers create unique, one-of-a-kind timepieces to be auctioned off for charity. All proceeds go towards research into Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So, there's a huge philanthropic element that drives prices up. Collectors and philanthropists are willing to pay a premium because it's for a great cause. Plus, the fact that these are all unique pieces, literally only one will ever be made, adds an insane level of exclusivity. But even with the charity and exclusivity factors, $31 million is an astronomical figure. The real value lies in the watch itself. The Grandmaster Chime is not just any watch. It's considered one of the most complicated wristwatches ever created. Patek Philippe is widely regarded as one of the holy trinity of watchmaking. Alongside Audemars Piguet and Vacheron Constantin, they are masters of their craft, and the Grandmaster Chime is their Mona Lisa. Development of the Grandmaster Chime movement took a reported 100,000 hours, which is over 11 years of continuous work. It's a mechanical marvel with 20 different complications. Now, for those new to watch terminology, a complication is any function on a watch that does more than just tell the time, like the date. A stopwatch, or in this case, a whole lot more. Let's talk about some of these insane complications. The Grandmaster Chime is a double-faced watch, meaning you can flip it over. It has a front dial and a back dial, each displaying different information. It has a grande sonnerie, which automatically strikes the hours and quarter hours. It has a petite sonnerie, which strikes just the hours. And it has a minute repeater, which, on demand, chimes the exact time down to the minute. But wait, there's more. It also has a world-first alarm function that strikes the alarm time, and a date repeater that chimes the date on demand. On top of all that, it features a perpetual calendar. This means it accurately displays the day, date, month, and even accounts for leap years. So you don't have to adjust it until the year 2100. It has a moon phase display, a second time zone, a day-night indicator, and a power reserve indicator for both the movement and the chiming mechanism. It's like having a miniature mechanical computer on your wrist. The fact that Patek Philippe managed to pack all 20 of these complications into a wearable wristwatch is a testament to their genius. And remember, this particular one, the 6300A, is unique. Patek Philippe had previously made the Grandmaster chime in precious metals like white gold, but they had never made one in stainless steel. In the world of high-end watch collecting, a unique steel Patek Philippe is like finding a unicorn. Steel is usually reserved for their sportier, less complicated models. To create their most complicated watch ever in a humble material like steel was a deliberate move to make this piece an ultimate collector's item. The dial itself is a work of art. The front dial is a beautiful salmon color with gold-applied brigade numerals. It's classic, elegant, and surprisingly legible given all the information it displays. Flip the case over using the ingenious patented reversing mechanism in the lugs, and you're greeted with the black dial, which is mostly dedicated to the perpetual calendar functions. The case is intricately engraved by hand, another sign of the incredible craftsmanship involved. Every surface, every screw, every gear is finished to perfection, even the parts you'll never see. So, who would pay $31 million for this watch? The buyer remains anonymous, as is often the case with these high-profile auctions. But it's safe to say it's a very, very serious watch collector who understands the historical significance of this piece. They didn't just buy a watch. They bought a piece of horological history, a unique work of art, and they made a massive contribution to a worthy cause. Now, it's fun to talk about the $31 million record holder. But what are some of the other contenders for the most expensive watch title? Before the Grandmaster chime, the record was held by a Rolex. But it wasn't a new, shiny Rolex. It was a vintage Rolex Daytona that belonged to the legendary actor and racing driver Paul Newman. His wife, Joanne Woodward, gifted it to him in 1968. It had a unique, exotic dial that collectors now call the Paul Newman dial. He wore it every day for 15 years. In 2017, this watch sold for $17.8 million. What makes this one so special is its story, its provenance. It was owned and worn by an icon. The back was even engraved by his wife with the words, "Drive carefully, me." It's a personal, intimate object that tells a story, and that's what collectors really fell in love with. Another Patek Philippe also held the record for a while. It's the Henry Graves Jr. Super Complication, a pocket watch from 1933. It was commissioned by the American banker Henry Graves Jr., who was in a friendly competition with another industrialist, James Ward Packard, to see who could commission the most complicated watch. Graves won. This pocket watch has 24 complications and held the title of the most complicated watch for over 50 years. It sold in 2014 for $24 million. Again, it's the combination of incredible mechanical complexity and a legendary story that drives the value. So, we see a pattern here. The world's most expensive watches aren't just expensive because they're remade of gold or platinum and covered in diamonds. While those can be very pricey, the true record breakers have something more. They have a combination of three key things. First, unparalleled mechanical complexity from a top-tier manufacturer like Patek Philippe. Second, extreme rarity or uniqueness, like the one-of-a-kind steel Grandmaster chime. And third, a powerful story or provenance, like the Paul Newman Daytona. The Grandmaster chime 6300A010 hit the trifecta. It's the most complicated wristwatch Patek Philippe has ever made. It's a unique piece in steel created for a special event. And it was sold for a noble cause, adding to its incredible story. Will its record ever be broken? It's hard to say. The watch market is always full of surprises. But for now, This stainless steel masterpiece stands alone at the pinnacle of the watch world, a symbol of human ingenuity, artistry, and generosity. It's a reminder that the true value of an object isn't always in its material worth, but in the skill, passion, and history embedded within it, from the mind of the engineers to the hands of the watchmakers. It airs a journey of thousands of hours, culminating in a tiny machine that does so much more than just tell time. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world's most expensive watch. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more horological adventures. See you in the next one.